Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. Today we're going to go through a few garden care tips for the middle of winter. Right now we're walking out to my new citrus area. I'm going to talk you through caring for citrus through the winter, particularly in frost. We are going to have a look at the garlic. There's a specific way to water garlic through winter, and I've also been working on the raspberry patch, so I'll show you that. And then I'm going to show you, of course, I've started a new landscaping project. We've got a lot to get through today, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. This is my new area of citrus. I've got 4 trees along here. There's mandarin, 2 oranges and a lemon. These trees I've got here, they've been in the ground. This is their second winter now. They're not as tender. I'm going to show you a couple of trees that I've purchased right before winter. But what I'm going to do is just take you through a couple of care tips for these. I did come out here this morning. We had a heavy frost and I just had a quick check on them. They're fine. They seem to have climatized all right. One tip with citrus is, especially if you're in colder areas, if you're buying citrus trees from particularly stores who get them in at certain times, you know, they'll get them in, they often won't have them and then they suddenly have them. So think of those kinds of stores. Those trees often have not climatized to the area that you're purchasing them in. So in Australia, a lot of citrus is grown in Queensland. And for us Victorians, it's shipped down and sold, you know, at certain times of the year, and it has not climatized to our area. So those trees are at the biggest risk. You can still buy them. They're often quite cheap to buy that way. You can still buy them. I'm going to talk you through how to protect those trees. Otherwise, if you don't want to have to deal with all that extra work, you still need to protect them for the first couple of years though. You can purchase your citrus trees. You just ask the nursery, you know, where have they come from? How long have they been here? Have they had a season in the winter, etc. Or buy locally. I'm going to take this cage off so we can see a bit better. I've just got the cage on there for wallabies and kangaroos, any animals that might come through. We had a herd of sheep come through. So they're just there to protect my tree from predators. So winter, very, very important. A lot of people know that you prune fruit trees during the winter months. Do not prune your citrus. For us in colder climates, early spring is a really good time to prune your citrus or shape it up. You really are just shaping though, you don't really need to prune them. If you've put in brand new trees and you're about to get a big frost, this sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but one of the ways to protect them is to water before the frost. So you can come out that afternoon before the frost is going to hit the next morning and water the ground, because wet soil will actually retain heat better than dry soil. So that's one way to protect it. If they're really young, you can string, you know, the fairy lights. You need the ones that put out a little bit of warmth. You can string them around the tree, and you can do this with any plant that's a bit frost sensitive. If the plant is very frost sensitive, it's just going to probably get hit anyway. But for things like citrus and other things that they can tolerate a bit of frost, but if you're going to get a really heavy frost, you can put some of those lights into the trees. So you don't want LEDs, they don't emit enough light, enough heat, sorry. You want something like an incandescent bulb, and you can get the little string lights, put them through the trees, and it provides a little bit of heat, a bit of warmth to try to ward off that frost. You saw my big cage. You could come out here and put something over the top of it. So even with this, with the stake here, you could sort of drape something over. So you might want to use burlap cloth. We call that hessian in Australia. So you could use burlap. I have in the past just thrown a sheet, like a sheet over the top, just to protect them a little bit so the frost doesn't settle on them. If they do get bitten by frost and you've noticed that some leaves have died off, don't cut them off, just leave it. That's actually going to act as a bit more protection for the rest of the plant. Wait until your weather warms up before you cut those back. The other thing, if you cut those back, it can trigger the plant to throw out new growth. That new growth is just going to get frozen off again. So if they do get damaged, the best thing is to leave it and really protect them moving forward. My trees look really good. I will give you a quick glimpse at these little tiny trees I've just purchased that are way too young to put out. I'm not even planting them out yet. I've left them in pots under a tree. So we'll go have a look at those, and then we're going to move on to something else. What I have in this bed is around 150 garlic bulbs. I've got some hardneck and some softneck variety. And then up the end I've got some Chinese garlic. Where I live, which is Victoria, it's very cold. Our winters are often characterised by a lot of rain as well. So for us the soil stays quite damp. you don't want your garlic to get really wet. The bulbs can rot out. I've got mine, I've always grown it in a raised bed. This year I've got it in a mounded bed. So we're going to see how this goes. The only time I will come out and actually water my garlic during winter is if I poke my finger down and the top three, roughly 2-3 centimeters of the soil is wet. That's kind of my gauge, and then I'll quickly chuck some water on it. This winter I haven't had to water at all. Once the weather starts to warm up, I will then be on a regular watering schedule. So at the start of spring, it'll probably be once or twice a week. It'll ramp up to every day as it's really growing, and then in that final stage of growth for garlic, I will cut back watering. I also usually come along, just keep on top of the weeds, always pulling out weeds. It's just a tricky time to be pulling weeds because you're also going to find that a lot of soil comes out with them at the moment. But yeah, I will just scratch down, and this is quite, it's not soaking wet. It's a bit wetter than I'd probably like, but I can't do much about it because of the rain. We've got a few days of sun now, but that's fine. I won't be watering this unless we probably get a couple of weeks of no rain, and then I will. These brown pieces, just leave them. It's best not, I've just ripped that one off. It does help protect the plant a little bit. Everything will come good as soon as the weather warms up. The thing you want to look for, you want to make sure that there's a new leaf coming out in the middle of your garlic. If you're really worried and it's looking terrible, you just want to take a little peek, make sure you've got that new leaf and it's looking healthy and green. If you've got that, you're good to go. The other thing about garlic is once the weather warms up, so probably about, I don't know, a few weeks into spring for us, I will fertilize them. I'll probably do some sort of fish. Oh, I got snagged on a T-post. I'll do some sort of fish emulsion on them. We just want to boost the nitrogen a little bit. Okay, let's go pick some lemons. This lemon tree has always just had absolute abundance on it. It's so happy here, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of flanked by some bigger trees which help protect it from the frost. So if you're in a really frosty area, like my citrus area right up the back, it's right near a hill it's covered in blackberries, but that hill protects it from the frost a little bit. So have a little think about where might be best. They do better not being out in, out alone in extreme weather, including in the middle of summer. So in summer here they get some shade, and in winter they get some protection where the frost can't get through so easily. By around midwinter, which we're in right now, this will start being hit by frost too many times. And what it will do is it will start, the tree will be fine, it's established, it'll be okay. But what happens is the fruit will get hit by the frost, it freezes it. As it thaws out, it goes mushy, and then of course it goes rotten, and that can introduce pest and disease into the tree. So by about this time of the year, I'm wanting to pick it all off it, which I always feel a little bit sad about because it's such a beautiful tree. It looks so beautiful with the fruit on it, but I just know what's going to happen, and it's going to end up looking terrible. And then for me to go through and pick off the mushy, horrible fruit, I'd rather just do it now, and we can actually utilize these and preserve them and make the most of it. We often give a heap away, so it's just best to do it now. Welcome to the kitchen. I'm going to show you now how I preserve the lemons, really quick and easy. I often just don't have time to mess around too much, and this is how I make lemon juice last us all year. I've got one of these electric juicers. I just cut the lemons and I chuck them on there, pour them into ice cube trays, and then they go in the freezer. After they're all frozen in the trays, they go into baggies, just like that. Need a compost bin. My compost bin is nearly full. I'll have to do a different thing. Anytime a recipe asks for lemon juice, you just put one of those little ice cubes straight in. It's just pure straight lemon juice. If you're into drinking lemon juice in your water, chuck them straight in the water, which I don't do. But there's also, we make this beautiful berry syrup, and then we can sometimes turn it into jam. Sometimes we do turn it into jam. So it's just a little saucepan of berries, and then we put a scoop of honey in it and one of these lemon juice ice cubes, and you just boil it up and it goes beautiful and syrupy. We use it on yogurt. If we have ice cream, we put it on ice cream. Sometimes we'll make a really nice, it's an olive oil chocolate cake, and we aren't big fans of icing, so we will do whipped cream and the berry syrup, and then whatever's left over of that berry syrup, we throw some chia seeds in, and it thickens up, and then it's a jam. So it's like a sugar-free berry thing. I know that honey is a sugar, but I'm talking honey's a natural sugar. It's got some vitamins and minerals. I'm one of those people that just has to constantly wash my hands. I can't stand the feeling of it on my hands. I've got this cute little heart tray, but I've normally got a baby food, a little baby food one that has a lid so I can stack them. Cannot for the life of me find me since I've been renovating the kitchen. I've moved things all over the place. Cannot locate it. And into the freezer. Very carefully, because these are not my ones with lids. Just got to keep the kids out of this freezer now. We're not big sugar eaters in this household. I'm almost no sugar from now on. But one thing that we will do is, as a treat, we will make a lemon meringue pie. So we do that once every year. And so I'll also use some of the juice for that, and I'll need some rind and stuff for that as well. I will juice up the majority of these lemons, give some away, keep a few that are just going to last a few weeks for us fresh. Chuck some in the fridge, and then that's it. Things like preserved lemon, we just don't eat it. So there's no point me making it, and we don't tend to use them dried either. So there's no point me making things out of lemon that we aren't going to go and eat or use. I'll continue pottering away on this, and in the meantime, I'm going to switch you over to this raspberry patch project I've been working on. Ay. This is plot 3, and it's much more work than I remember. I have to go cut down all of the corn stalks and all of the flour stalks with these. So I'm doing this by hand. Oh, do you know what? The tiller hasn't been picked up yet. I'm actually tossing up if I chuck that on the back of the tractor. Not that you can chuck it on the back of the tractor. It takes like an hour to get that on it, because I'd have to get the auger off. I'm seriously considering bringing that in here, but it's so heavy. I think it's going to be too heavy because it's the middle of winter and the ground's so soft. I think we're going to have to do it by hand. Oh, and I can't keep relying on that tiller because it's going. So I probably need to just rip the band-aid off and just do this by hand. I also need to cut off all of these weeds before they seed, because they will be fine to be mulched in. But if they go to seed, you've then got the seed all mulching in. So the trick with weeds is, if you don't have time to pull them out, then I can actually use them as organic matter. So the trick is cut them off before they go to seed. And if you just get into a habit of doing that through your field or your garden or wherever you are, just cut the weeds off before they go to flower, you will very quickly get on top of your weed problem. My weed problem's fairly significant in here, as you can see. but the soil here is terrible. So it's actually gonna all mulch down into something really beautiful. Anyway, just give me a moment while I very slowly get through this. I just ran off because the rooster mainly, was just making so much noise, and I thought, oh no, because our neighbours had a problem with a fox. Oh, and it just got one of our chooks. So I wish you just could have heard it. Like, it was just absolute chaos, mainly the rooster. And then they were kind of like freaking out. So I've run over, like I've made a lot of noise running over there so the fox knew I was coming, in hopes that if it had one, it might have let it go. They often don't survive that though. Yeah, I've run over. I've just put them all back in their house. They won't be able to free range now that the fox knows they're there. Oh, so that sucks. Or they can come out for maybe an hour a day and we just stay outside with them. Oh, what a shame. So that sucks. Anyway, I'm nearly finished this job. Oh, it's taking way longer than I had expected. It's taking so long. Just found, this is from years ago, one of my feverfew. Oh, it smells so good. I'll leave that there. It'll be just like a happy little surprise. Oh, it looks a lot better. So the plan is I will just let it mulch down a little bit. I was going to get Maro and I to do the tiller through it, but actually I think I'll just let it break down. The frost will help kind of mush it up a bit. I'll spread it out a bit better. I've pulled out invasive grasses and weeds the best I could, and I might just cover it in mulch and we'll see how this goes, because we won't be planting into this until probably mid-September, early October. Now for over here, which I do need to plant into this area much sooner. This is my raspberry rose, and I've actually ordered 2 more varieties of raspberry. So I want to get those in pretty soon. I've got 4 rows going in. So I just need to clean out all the flowers and prep the soil ready for that. So as soon as they turn up, I can start putting raspberries in and move the raspberries from over there. I'll potter along on this. That'll probably be in another video now. But yeah, for now, I'll get on to something else. 4 eggs today. Last week, a few of you said to me I should not be washing the eggs and explain why. So I'm not going to wash them. I've just put them straight in the basket. They'll go straight inside. And then a friend messaged me as well that you don't want to wash the bloom off, I think it was called bloom, off the eggs because it's a protective coating. It helps stop problems like salmonella developing. And it apparently also means that your eggs will last longer on the bench. So my friend did say if you want to wash the eggs, like if they end up with poo on them and stuff, we try to keep our coop as clean as possible. Chickens just poo so much. I am gobsmacked how much they poo. But we try and clean it regularly just to minimize the poo problem. I won't wash them unless I have to, and then I'll store them in the fridge. So I do check the eggs regularly as well. Like I do the water test to see if they're all still okay. So if they float in water, they're not okay. If they sink, they're okay. So I do check them as well. But yeah, beautiful little eggs. Yesterday we got 7. So it's the middle of winter. I'm astounded that they're still laying, but they must be happy chooks. So I'm going to put these inside and then I'm going to go back and let them out for the day. Eggs are safely on the bench. I'm going to go let the chickens out now, feed the goats, put the compost out, and that's kind of my morning routine. No cookies. I mentioned a couple of videos ago, we buy a mix now called Custom Mix because we had a major problem with one of the goats that ate some of the chicken food, bloated its stomach and it nearly died. The story of that's up on my Instagram. They're all going to follow me. They just think I'm the giver of food, so they follow me all day long. It's very cute. I love it. Well, these goats are my daughter's and she wants me to feed them, so I'm going to feed them. I think they've got enough food in this paddock to be quite happy, and I actually want to force them to eat it. I want them to clean up all the blackberries, but my daughter feels bad for them. They've also got a very expensive mix called goat muesli. Come on. Come on, goats. Come on. Hello. This one's scared of me, scared of everybody. She's the female, so we are going to get her pregnant soon. Come on. And this is her little baby, the big baby. He usually lets me give him a pat. He's also not excited about it. Hello. Hello. They're very skittish. We're hoping that by her having a baby, the baby might become a bit more happy, but my friend, happy to have us handle it. But my friend Shari thinks that because the mum is so skittish, there's a chance the baby will learn that too. So we'll see what happens. They were bullied. So the reason we have these 2 goats, they were in a big paddock with a heap of goats, and these 2 were bullied by all the other goats. Well, I don't know if all of them, but they had to separate them. So then these 2 were kind of just living alone, just kind of very scared. So that's how we came to get the goats. Where did the chickens go? Chook, 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 chook. Chook, chook, chook. The chickens would probably like some of this. I've got to watch that they don't go down near where the fox sneaks up. Where'd they go? Here, chook, 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 chook. The problem is I'm the only one that separates the food scraps for them. I'll put these here. I've started a new compost bin because those 2, I want them to break down before mid-spring. So this is the new one. And I need to add a bit of straw or something into that today, and I need to turn the other bins just to keep them going. What I do now is put some water in this and just let it sit for a bit because it's a bit gross. It's pretty gross. I need to go get changed now. I've got my work leggings underneath the trackies. I'm actually starting to feel a bit hot now. It's not very hot, let me say. The temperature is 9 degrees. This next part's pretty easy. I've done all the hard bits. Well, it wasn't that hard, but all the technical stuff. I've dug the holes, put the poles in. Now I'm just going to level them out, make sure they're really straight. And this job is just cosmetic, so I'm not concreting anything in. All I'm going to do is level it up, tamp it all down, fill the holes back up, and they will sit there. We'll probably get a little bit more rain. That'll help consolidate them in. And I will get to the rest at some other point because this isn't urgent. So I've got this small tamp and I've got my spirit level. I want to make sure the front and the sides are level. And that's actually pretty good. It's got to go there. Yep. There is a little bit of wiggle room at the end. You don't want to drop your spirit level, so that's why I've just lowered it. Yep, fill it in. And tamp. Looks good. Well, everyone, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you liked this, subscribe, especially so you can follow along with these projects that are going to carry on. This will be the new format moving forward. So you'll get a little piece of everything in every video. And I'm going to go finish these off now. See ya. While I'm working out there, I forgot to show these little lemons. The pots are tiny, the trees are tiny. It's too small. If you put this out in the middle of winter or until the weather starts to warm up, you'll probably lose them. So we've just got them sitting under the tree. I need to repot them. Oh, spiky. 100% need to be repotted. I'll work on that this weekend. But I picked them up really cheap. I got them for $7 each, so I jumped on it. We might even espalier them, so that'll be a project coming up.